So thank you everybody for showing up to this February 6th webinar. I would like to say that, well, I would like to start with a couple of things. I don't know if you guys noticed, some of the smart tags were kind of geeking out on some people. It was mistaking the underscore as a space, and then it would cause some confusion in the system. So if you saw that your action plan went out and it said first name slash group account name. So if yours is set up
Yeah.
like that, some people just have first name and then they just use it for both, vice versa. But the ones that had spaces in the smart in the tag, I guess, also in the smart tag, was causing some problem in some people's emails. So that was corrected,
But,
is what I was
but
told.
Jeremy, was that set up originally? Because I mean, I haven't changed any of those smart tags. So was it
So
the space between first name or
yeah, I
group
think
name?
when I did a release that was just recent. Here, I'm going to go ahead and show you my screen. And so if we go into a contact sheet, so for some people, there was underscores, and some people have bracket. Um, it's just many different ways that people have, you know, shown the separations and that kind of thing.
Is
So
that where it showed up, or or
we'll see. So
is
this
it
is tied,
when we went to
these are tied to smart tags in the emails, action plans, and
right?
right. So you can pull information from here. But what some people were reporting is that the emails were showing up like the first name, but once it hit this space,
Mm-hmm.
right, once it hit this space, like there, it would stop and then it would show the whole smart tag, kind of giving away, you know, your
Oh,
system.
how do we
So
check that to make sure? Do we just send ourselves
you can send yourselves an email using the smart tag. However, that should be corrected. Um, and it shouldn't be an issue anymore, but
oh,
definitely
okay.
report back. So some people were reporting that that was something that got fixed. There was also
Okay.
some issues with uploading data, right? So let's discard this. Um, there was some issues with uploading data, which I just did a test yesterday. They're working. Um, so when it came to the uploading contacts, there was, let me see here if there's anything that we can use.
And this is what people use in lieu of Sparky, correct?
In lieu of Sparky, yeah, yeah, they're the ones that are actually uploading the data. That's correct.
And so they have to have theirs mapped so that it matches exactly the headings from field notes, correct?
Well,
Does
that
that make
I was playing around with that, to tell you the truth, and I am finding in which if you upload, like, so you already have data here. I'm going to assume either
Mhm.
you have Sparky as a contact or um, you either have Sparky as a contact or yourself as a contact if you have no contact, but everybody
Mhm.
should at least have something. Now, within those contacts, if you just go and do a download the list, it'll give you your database. But what's important is these fields, right? These are all the same fields. Now, obviously, you have to hover above and get a feel for text field 3 is the ID shield number and so on and so forth, right? However,
How do you know that that's what those are?
because if you hover over the top. Do you see that?
Okay, yeah,
So each little red dot tells you, this is the pay period type, what's the format, group division, dates with the years. So this is the production date, this one's the effective date, this one's the canceled date. So you're gonna get the fields when you get the data coming out of field Shield at work,
right.
you're gonna clean it up, but basically just dump it into these same fields, either column at a time, or you just align up the columns so that the sheet, right, so that they're basically the same. And then you can push this file up to field notes. And what I've seen is when it comes to uploading the data, um, oops, 1 second. This is not what I wanted. Save, save as. Let me see if no. I guess it didn't save. So now it's save. And
Now, what's the difference between download list and download list, including all fields?
the difference between them two is like when you download this one,
Mm-hmm,
it gives you everything. It gives you everything in the Excel, whether if it's being used or not, but it gives you all the fields with all the columns and all the headers.
okay.
So let's say you wanted a report. Let's say you have an admin individual, somebody that just needs to look at specific data. It's not that
Mhm.
they don't need to know your relationship status. They don't need to know all that kind of stuff. So what you can do here is you can just give them no salutation, no alternative email. Let's say you just want to give them something to call out with, and they don't need to have all of these things, family profile, birthday. They might have additional, but essentially it is just a list. And all you want them to do is to call them with, some promotion, let's just say. So let's just close this. All right. Well, maybe you want to leave edit it on. All right. So now that you've done this, these are all of the headers, correct? So when you go ahead and do this one, it's going to download the people with just those headers, unless they changed it, which they have changed it.
Jo-
So
Jody, do you use just Sparky pretty much exclusively, or do you use this method of bringing in your
I do
folks?
my own right now just because I'm not too experienced with Sparky. So I've been like entering all my own stuff.
okay.
And
Do
that's
you
just something that I've got to get, in the habit of doing and practice with that. I mean,
do you do
there's a
one by
business
one?
card, right? What's that?
Do you do one by one, or do you do
Mhm.
upload massive, like on an Excel file, or copy paste from, because you can copy paste the fields like that, copy it, and then go to the upload and use this method, which is the copy paste method. And then you can select that the space is what's the limiter. And then now you have, and then this is a way of copying from maybe an Excel, dumping it into there and making that
Okay.
kind of so what I find is that because some of the fields match, they're immediately seen and detected. So that's what I'm liking, is when you come and you take it from Legal Shield at work, either you use the the copy, like, so if you either download one of the copies that we have, right, you'll have all of these in which you can then just put in the information. The system's going to recognize it a lot quicker, and it'll save you on the mapping, which means you have to just match email with the correct email, the phone with the right phone. And so that'll save you time. However, these used to have two different, I remember, but it doesn't look like, it looks like maybe something with the release. So if you were to do this and filter and have just, let's say 30, 40 people, if you did download the list, it would give you the ones with just the list that you were looking at. So if you had, so that it, saves you time to create a file. Now you can, email it to somebody or keep it for records, that kind of thing. But it looks like both of them now are just giving you everything regardless. So doesn't hurt nothing, but that's what I remember, both of them, the difference between both of them. Right now, there is no difference based on what we just looked at. But so yeah, so there was that. There is some people have been reporting some issues with like emails not getting to themselves when they do tests. That was because of a I don't know if you guys, when you guys are doing action plans and things like that, within the action plan, there's like a little test feature. And so if you were to use this test feature and either connected by Google or Microsoft, you shouldn't have a problem. The people that are reporting the problem are the ones that are connected utilizing their domain. And there was a technical issue in the background. So I have yet to hear that is currently working, but that's just one of the issues I wanted to bring up that is still outstanding. And then I think that was it. And then I wanted to give some time to Jody to talk about a action plan that you have created, or how far with the action plan have you gotten, Jody?
Out to about a year of,
Okay. Okay, so this
yeah,
is a year's worth of communication,
yep.
and is it strictly CDLP?
It's, excuse me, the one that's done is what I call the on-off road plan. So which is the legal and the or excuse me, the legal and the personal plan combination.
Okay.
And then I'm working on like individual CDL, like doing the duplicate and making those adjustments and stuff like that too. But yeah, so I do have the one for the on-off road plan done.
What is the
And then
purpose of that action plan? What are you trying to achieve?
so what I'm doing through that is, obviously welcoming them, and then like a few days later giving them their information. Um, Let me just pull it up here and then I can
If you'd like, I can
double
stop
check.
sharing and let you
Sure.
share if you'd like, or if you have anything, you're welcome to do.
Yeah, I can share screen it. Here it is.
Okay, so just to understand,
Right.
they've already seen the program, and now you basically want to just get them their
Yep.
information and kind of keep them abreast of the program.
Yep. They've just signed up for this particular plan, what I call the on-off road plan or the CDL and the personal plan.
Okay.
So this one is right after, I send it right after they become a member, congratulating them. And then the membership numbers, setting up their account, how to call the law firm, tips, member perks, and then forms, just that they have access to it. And I have a letter in there. I'll just show, and I don't know why. Let's see here. Let's see. Oh, that's why. Hold on. So, um,
And
So
you've
yeah,
got
and it's just
some
basically,
attachments as well, right?
absolutely, yeah.
Okay, okay.
It goes into,
Is
yeah,
there,
their membership numbers, tips on law calling the law firm, forms, and then at the end of my information, I have it on every email, is if you have questions or concerns regarding your membership, please contact me, or if you have CSA questions, contact the Riggs and Abney, or if they have personal legal questions, reach out to the personal provider law firm, because that's one of the things that we see where they're not calling like the right law firms and stuff like that. So if I put it at the end of every email, hopefully they read it. And then secondary, it just gets in their mind that, there's different law firms for the different plans that we have.
So
So, and then I
can I
did have
just
the
ask you a
attachments.
quick question, Jody, because
Yeah.
obviously you're doing a lot of this. When they download the app on their phone,
Mm-hmm.
where does do they see both legal plan numbers on the app? How does that show up?
I believe they do.
Okay, I've got,
Right.
I haven't done anything with this yet and I need to get it. I need to get my button gear and get the welcome letter out to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of Jeremy, more of a legal shield thing than a field notes thing.
well,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I definitely see it, yeah, more leaning to the legal shield. However, I do want to interject, right, with just some small things. Like, so we've discussed in past webinars about those documents, how you can kind of turn them into with like bit.ly, turning into short links so that they're not actually attachments, but they're posted documents, right? So that would help deliverability on your end. Also, it'll make it a link. If you use the bit.ly, sign up with bit.ly, you can use some of the analytics that if somebody actually clicked this, you could actually say to yourself, okay, wow, okay, this is somebody that recently signed up, just actually clicked it. And since there's three things, you can actually see what of three things, if you, based on that, wanted to give more follow-up, you could like, maybe like another follow-up email saying, thank you. We just, thank you for um, accessing the documents below, something like that, that, allows you to let them know that you can see some things and,
That you're spying on them.
not spying, but like you're attentive, right?
I'm a
Like
weather balloon.
you're not from
Yeah, big,
China,
big white balloon.
but that you know that they had a chance and you're
Yeah.
thanking them
Right.
for taking that extra step. And all see, so I feel that there's a disconnect between you and the people you guys sometimes deal with, right? And this is
Mm-hmm.
such a service business, right? With the
Yes.
business and the networking, that the more you can Dale Carnegie people little by little, and with this system, you can totally leverage it, right? That's the easy thing, is that it's something you can just add it in, and then you should be able to create relationships with these people, even if it's like you're that lady that has my benefits. You know what I mean? If you're just that
Yep.
person that even they may not know you, but they could, if
Yeah.
whatever basically you
Yeah.
email them, they're gonna get an idea of who you are and that kind of thing. So my whole point
Yep.
is do little things, especially in the beginning when you got them fresh with the signing up, to let them know that they can
Yeah.
always ask you and you can always keep information, kind of keep that pipeline back and forth. So for that, that's one thing that I could maybe in some of those documents, there might be some graphics, anything that can lighten this up, put some color. You could put this in a frame, you could, or in a table, so that it's a little bit more. So what it does is it'll push it into a, what about 700 kind of format, keep it more linear. So when it hits the phone, it also kind of looks linear as well, because if it's just wide open like this, it could go to Google, it could go to Outlook, and everybody could have their own little different experience depending on how Google displays it, how the other ones display it. So if you put it into a
Yep.
table, it'll kind of
No.
just force it into a specific space, which should give you like a more consistent result amongst other platforms I've seen. So that's what I would suggest. And this is something, I definitely thank you for bringing this up and, bringing what you're trying to, put together, because
Yeah.
this is where you guys get your money's worth, is making
Mhm.
action plans, is utilizing the system dynamically so that you guys aren't doing this. And something that a lady that I've been helping with, and we started out with action plans. She was through November through December, January, all of these busy seasons. She had a couple action plans working for her, and she was amazed how the action plans are doing or staying on top of her business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Generating
Yeah.
a little bit of action. And so, but and then she was amazed that she was there with the kids. She was doing stuff with soccer mom. Like, she was not the realtor that she should have been, right? But she had those action plans.
Yeah.
So that's what I say to you guys, like, action plans, action plans. So this is good, right?
Yeah.
You've got a year's worth of engagement that
Mhm.
should keep these people to the next time, and then they should get the value. And if they see the value, they're gonna stay.
Yep.
So
Yep. And that's too is one of the things that I do like educate through here as well, what to do if they get pulled over. And just also, after their 10-day period, their waiting period for the CDL plan, it's like, okay, your waiting period's done. Now you're covered, and some different highlights of the different memberships that they have.
mhm.
Um, and then let's see here, what else? And then also towards the end here, like mid-year or whatever, what else does PPLSI offer? And so I go into other plans, like the business plan, that just a general synopsis,
Yeah.
gun ownership plans, that stuff. And then another one where I have testimonials. And I ask them for testimonials as well. And
How
then
many
who do you know? Is there
testimonials?
referrals?
Yeah.
This one, I'm trying to think if I have 4 or 5. I can't remember. There's another one that I have several more. So this one, I have 3 testimonials.
Do
Um,
you guys, where do you
but there's
host your
another one that I'm working on that
testimonials?
has more. Gosh, Facebook. No, I don't know. I mean, it's just there's a lady that she puts out all these testimonials and I save them, and then I just use them to however that
Yeah,
I need, I
Tara
guess. Yep,
Potsenbach.
yep, yep.
So
She is
we're
the
so
referral
with
queen.
sometimes, in some cases, right? This is for what people have their websites for. Is now I know of online testimonial kind of like things you can affiliate yourself for like $20 a month, $10 a month, or in some cases it could be free or not. Like Testimonial Tree,
Mm-hmm.
I think, is one. It gives you kind of a nice little online kind of landing page website per se, or you could
Yeah.
host a page on a website for yourself that speaks of testimonials, and you can actually, you know, make them look nice. If you're getting them from Facebook, in some cases, if you open up the post, it should have a web link above. That web link, if it's given to other people, they could go to that post. So if that's a way of, or screenshotting, I'm just saying maybe getting a little bit more creative with the testimonials, because everything that I've seen about selling Legal Shield is through the voice of another person. It's like an
Mm-hmm.
experience. It's like somebody else is sitting there. So you got to get maybe some elderly folks, maybe some young people, maybe some, try to get
Mm-hmm.
every gen generation you can get them representing and let them share their experience, because usually when people hear them, they're like, oh, snaps, that's me. Oh, I didn't, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know I could use this. And then they identify with multiple different people's testimonies, and then they just makes it a no-brainer. And they're not like, you're not selling anything. They're just kind of like coming to the realization, wow, this is definitely a steal, and I get these benefits. And I can't put myself out there for this amount of money. And then the way the program works, it's just like you don't lose. So at the end of the day, it's just getting educated and get people come. So testimonials to me is I would build it into your signatures. I don't know if you guys have done that, but see, so when you get this stuff hosted and it's somewhere, whether if it's anywhere online where it came from, the testimonial, you can usually get that link, and then that link can be posted and given and put into like short links, or go here for the review, so that where people, they can actually, if they don't believe you, they can go to it and see what that person put, right? So
So usually, Jeremy, we've got one gal that's pretty active in posting testimonials
mhm.
for Legal Shield and its products. Where she gets them, I'm not 100% sure. She probably gets them from other Legal Shield associates, and she just puts them out on Facebook.
But
So
Jody's saying, Jody's kind of looking for the referrals and the testimonials that come into her. Am I not right? You're kind of trying to generate it yourself a little bit.
Well, these are a lot of what Tara has put on theirs, and
But if somebody
like on
gave you
her.
a testimonial, you would most likely switch it out and use somebody. So I see this as
Absolutely.
you're using somebody else's material possibly to build, and then people kind of get inspired and be like, well, wow, hey, and then they give a referral, and they open up, they send a testimonial. My whole point is to build that, whether if it's an email for testimonial at your domain name, that kind of thing, or
Okay.
you affiliate with something, or you just tell people, hey, email it to me, I'd love to hear about it, yada yada. Engage people in Facebook. Do whatever you can do, right? If you guys, I've seen some things hosted even on little webinars that other groups for Legal Shield, they do. Like, they always start out the video that I've seen. Every video starts out with like a group of testimonials from all the people that are there to discuss, and then everybody has a nice little discussion. But first, everybody brings to the table why they started with Legal Shield. So I just think, based on what I've seen, testimonials is huge. And so many different places to tuck testimonials in into your signature. That way, as you're sending out materials, people could, if they ever wanted to challenge you and see who you are and what you are into, they can just click it and they see it themselves. And then, but this is still good because it helps you invite to get them. And so if you had a place that you were affiliated, you could, push that out, and then they could start leaving referrals to you. That way, if people wanted to see about you and make judgment before moving forward, they would see, oh, she's got 5-star reviews, no brainer to move forward. And then also the referrals. I feel this is a huge business that could definitely tap into taking care of people a little bit more, and then them referring you their family and friends. And if only just a percentage of those people did that, you know what I mean? Like, only you have the one to benefit from all of that kind of activity. So
Yeah.
I like this, but definitely, yeah, we can always come back around to this, and I can kind of give you like some of these phone numbers. I think you can kind of like hyperlink them so that they go and start the phone, like they'll open up on the device. Those are all helpful things, right? So that people, it engages them to quickly just, keep this email off to the side. If
Sure.
SH happens, boom, I've got it. I got that phone number. Or
Yeah.
yeah. So just
No,
thought.
that's good stuff. Yeah, that all of that information. I'd love to set up another like appointment with you and talk about Bitly and all of that stuff. That's way over my head.
It's all good
Um,
information. It'll help
yeah,
you get more
yeah.
dynamic and that kind
And
of
setting those up as in the blocks or whatever you said too, the frames.
tables. Tables is something. Yeah, I
That would
play a
be a
lot.
huge help.
I play a lot with that just to format the information so that it always kind of looks its best when it goes on many multiple devices in which you can't control.
Yeah,
And so,
because I think,
Sure.
quite frankly, most of this clientele is going to review this stuff on their phone. because they're
Mhm.
always on the road.
Yes. Yep, absolutely.
They're
So it
they're
has
looking
to
at
be,
their
it has to
mobile
be,
device.
exactly, it has to be. And so that'll help you putting it in tables and making it within
Yep.
700 pixels. So it'll, instead of going, when we have 14, 17 inches worth of screen, yeah, we can have emails to go from side to side, but on a phone,
Yep.
one's limited, and then also keeping it to where they can just click stuff and then it takes them exactly where they need to go. All of those things are helpful, having stuff online to where they can just click a link and then look at the PDF, right? Uh,
Yep.
and then if there's any like PDFs that you can create, either whether if it's from a collection of PDFs, maybe like something, you dump it into Canva to make it look nice, but something like you were referring to, like a cheat sheet with your phone numbers, with your this, with your that kind of thing. Um, I could see that being super helpful. They just download the PDF, they can access it if once they get into the accent, hopefully they have
Mhm.
access to their phone and they can just go to the PDF and then, okay, so this is the law firm I need to call. This is, you know what I mean? Like they just have the phone number there. They can press it. It goes right to them. So that would be just an additional thing. Wow. I'm
Yeah.
definitely going to send somebody to Jody because she gives you like all of these little benefits on top of, right? And that's where
Mhm.
you're taking like cheeseburgers from McDonald's and making your own special sauce and putting it in and selling them out the other window and with an
Yep.
extra 50 cents on it, but people are still loving what you're doing. So at the end of the day,
Yeah.
you know, I would see
And
that
that's
that
what
would help.
I'm,
So
yeah, yep.
360.
And I'm all about servicing. In fact, I even started another thing too for existing members, and it's just like to get those out, so the ones that I don't have on a, you know, campaign that I'm just relying on myself to keep up with, and it's just like, you know,
Mm. No, yeah, you
I've
definitely
learned
got to
just,
get them on campaigns. For you
yes,
guys, you got to
yes.
get them on campaigns because then you
Mhm.
can say, okay, my list of contacts or my business, my list of business is being maintained. So people
Yes,
aren't going to,
exactly.
drop. And
Yep.
then you can do other action plans and other little activities to try to bring on new people and then get them and then you'll find yourself with the full on
Yep.
circle, the circle of life. And that way you can
Yep.
attract people, you can get them in, and then you service them. And it's all done. You're leveraging everything. You can use spheres and tags to kind of just highlight different groups for you to kind of stay on top of, you know, but
Yep.
So,
definitely.
Yep.
so here's a question. Jody, you said that you then once kind of they've been on the plan for a while, you're now taking them out and contacting them and sharing different information. Jeremy, is there a place in here that if Jody's or if our CDLP guys and gals went through, say, a year's worth of a campaign, so they're getting dripped on, they've been there a year, they're still members, you still want them to continue to get information, is there something in field notes which would we could do like an automated something where date of membership, after 1 year, they move to a whole nother campaign, a whole nother action plan, and it does it behind the scenes that automatically when it hits a date, it goes, oh, they've been there a year. Now we're going to start this campaign.
So what you can do is within the action plan, such as what we're looking at here with thank you, congratulations, right after the 360.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
You can do a 20-second activity and it's gonna change a property. So we just have to create a different property. So it will be members active, but possibly members active plus 1 year, meaning, you would have to create a code for yourself so that you would know the difference between members active. Okay, if somebody is just a members active, it's because they were recently put within the system within the year. members active. When they
Mhm.
start to get this kind of action plan that will go throughout a whole year of conversation, at the end of this one, at this 360, it'll come once it gets sent out, right? Because everybody will start at a different time. So what it's
Mhm.
going to basically count is the activities and the days in between them. So the 20, so this 21 first, or this 21 is completed. The 22nd will start, which will then switch it to the different relationship status or the different category in which you have one of the large group or sales cycle, depending on how you guys have it labeled. But I remember for this specific thing, if you were to do it with spheres, what was going to happen was it would clear all your spheres and just apply the one that you were talking about, that you set up in the system. And that for some people would set a lot of people backwards because you set up and you add spheres for all many kind of different reasons. You know what I mean? So right there, when I caught wind of that, I said, no, we've got to teach you guys how to not walk yourself into that disaster. So as long as you have your categories built in the pick one categories, large groups, or follow-up frequency, one of those, you'll be able to move these guys over to a different action plan. But see, so when that action plan goes into the after a year, I would say it would be best to you to kind of do different styles of action plans, either more engaging stuff, right? Which is like you trying to really kind of get to know the person, you really kind of going, hey, it's been a year, you haven't gotten your will done. Um, I've got a couple of, time open in the week. I'd like to help you physically get this done. When can we do that? And then that way you're actually helping people get the things done and not letting them continue to go on years without not doing anything. And then they most likely would just cancel, is what I would say. And then they never did anything, so they never got the benefit of nothing, which you want them to have a lasting kind of taste in their mouth, which a good one. So what if you did this, but then life brought them back to you? I just think it would be like a no-brainer why they would want to continue and work with you and to do stuff with you. And oh, my mom also had a friend. She same thing here. Oh, yeah, my dad got a company. Didn't you say you have other products? Yes, we do. You know what I mean? Like the referrals are going to start to come out of the word work because you went and stuck yourself out and said, hey, I'm going the extra mile. And so
Yep.
I would say, then it's time to invest maybe a little bit more time with these people because you really want these people to continue. And this is only for the ones that deal with this. I know other people don't have, I think the people with the networking, it's like once you get them to the wham bam, that's it. And so for that, they most likely wouldn't maybe think about going this far out on an action plan, but who knows? They still could put it into work and still have that person continually, paying. And who knows, that person, they could kind of use this to do more referrals for themselves to
Mhm.
attract other new people. But definitely, this is an angle to work. And so I do like it. What I can see is just creating just trying to dress up each and every email as much as possible, making it engaging, making it quick and easy to kind of access the information. If there's anything that you can give, there was a study done. If you can give something to somebody in the first, you know, interactions with them, they'll most likely put you in a nice place in their heart, which
Mhm.
everybody would love, I would assume so. Um, but yeah, so
It's just that we have to come up with something that we can use for large numbers of people, because when you have, say, 1,000 members and it's just you, I mean,
mhm.
you're the one that's, working this business, you're by yourself most of the time. You've got to figure out something that's going to give you the kind of the best bang for your buck. So you
Yep.
can't very well, ask people to call you to help you set up your will if you've got 1,000 people, and you might end up with like 300 people calling you.
Then you
That's
might want to do your best to probably push them to the channels, right?
Mhm.
but work a little harder for them to get there so that they do at the end of the day go, wow, well, at least Allison wasn't the one that held my hand to do it, but she was, the one in the corner kind of getting at
I
me
was,
weekly,
yeah,
which
it's
at
like
the end of the
being the,
day,
it's like being the connector. You're not doing, you've already done your job. You sold the product. Now
but
you
see,
want to
so
bring value to the person, but oftentimes they're getting the value from a whole nother entity. They're getting it from their law firm. They're getting it from,
no,
member
no,
per.
correct. But what you
Yeah.
want to do is facilitate for them to have the light bulb moment, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then because if you can do that, then they're going to be like, damn, Allison, she's the one that, turned on that light bulb, right? And then that's the feeling you want to have. But then again, even if you have 1,000, you just need to write an email. You need to develop a text, an action plan, right? Whatever you want to do to speak to that group of people. So for the ones that have big groups, organize your categories and have people in specific buckets so that you can then address them as masses, right? Because that's what's going to help you. And if you create an engaging email that's pointing people, that's giving the information, I mean, just that email alone, I know a lot of people use their email as it's like the new file cabinet, right? It's I don't know if you guys, but anytime I see anything on the internet that I think is like worth saving, I sometimes just myself the link where I found it. I'll copy paste the whole article, dump it into the body of the text, and then
Mhm.
I'll put whatever article right there in the subject, and then I send it to myself. And then
Mhm.
I just keep it like a library of just stuff. And then if I ever need to go, I've got the links, I've got everything there. I can just kind of follow along with it. I do the same with emails and things that I get from, like the bank. If they send me something, I get a lot of stupid stuff. Like I have products that I don't use from the cable company, but I have it there because I get first 3 months free. I haven't yet to use Prime, whatever. So I'm just, I keep it off to the side, but I know I have that email where it has the access link to activate it, right? So that's kind of, if you do the same, people will just keep your important information, right? Because it only benefits them, but you give them a reason, right? Is what I would say. So
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
what you're doing with the action plan. I don't know how long it took you to kind of brainstorm this whole thing together, but I don't want to take credit away that of the hard work, but I'm pretty sure you were able to put this together with not too much struggle. I hope not, right? I mean, was it because that's what I ask people, like, what do you want to do? So what do you want to do is always the first kind of question I ask people when it comes to an action plan, because you want to put yourself into, okay, I need to do steps. Each
Yep.
step is an activity, right? And so you need to think into that kind of format. And then what am I trying to do?
Absolutely.
Am I trying to get the person to have a meeting with me? Am I trying to educate somebody about the product, like kind of what you're doing?
Mhm.
Am I trying to do this? So that's also the other question, so that you can kind of build that purpose into each communication, so that if what you're trying to do is to speak to them and to get them, then, you're always writing the communication to do so. And then the text messaging can always be like, um, hey, John, I just sent you an email. Do you have a sec to talk? Like if you know what I mean? Like if you throw one of those off to somebody, they might just call you back like, yeah, what's okay, what's up? And you're like, oh, gotcha. Got him. You know what I mean? Like, so I used to just in sales, I would just put a period, or I would just send random characters and I would send them to somebody. And then I would just get a magic, like, who's this? What's that? And I'm like, thank you. I've been spending 2 months trying to get you, you crazy. You know what I mean? So it's like, whatever you can do to help get the person to jump,
Okay.
that's how I would build these, right? Because you want that reaction, you know? And
Yep.
so
Jody, do you have any text SMS messages in your action plan?
No, not yet. That's another step that I've got to I haven't even done any text messages
I'll
through
show
field
you.
notes yet. That's
I'll
another,
show you that when we have a meeting about it, I'll
another
show you
learning
how
curve.
you can. I can show you how you can turn all of those emails into short format text within
Okay,
a minute. So it's not something you're going to
cool.
have to do, but then it's going to turn 20 something into maybe like 40 something activities, but they're going to be left, right, left, right, left, right, hook, left, right. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, yeah,
hopefully they get hit from all ends and they're
yeah.
engaged and they know, what this product can do.
Okay,
So I like this. I like this is a good conversation. I wish
yeah.
everybody would get into the woods, get up to their neck in water, right, Allison? Just
No, I still have my floaties on, you know?
we need to rip those floaties off. And have you ever seen John Wayne and how he teaches the little boy to swim?
No.
Oh,
I
well, you
don't
should
know if I
Google
did.
it. He just grabs him by his bootstraps and hucks him into the river. And then he's like, all right, now swim to the end. Try to grab the water that's in front of you. He just real. I mean, that was my grandfather in a nutshell.
I think I
He,
did see that. Now that you say that,
and
I
then there
think
was
I did see that.
some lady right next to him, and she was like, I don't know how to swim. And he just looked at her and she ran because she was next. But you just gotta love, that. I feel like we
That's
should do that
funny.
with Allison, with floaties
Yeah.
on, with floaties on,
Yes.
so she can make it
Yeah.
to the end. But that's good. Well, um, so yeah, so hopefully, this and then so when we do get it good and how
Yeah.
hitting on all ends and firing on all pistons, then we can add this. We can add this to the
Okay.
library of action plans so that people, if they would like to use this once so this is after attraction. This is after sign up.
Yes.
Have you
Yes,
ever
it
thought
is.
of what attracts these people?
Well, I do. No, just kidding.
So if that's the next one that you want to pencil down,
I
start
want to
putting
see that
together,
one, Jody.
that
Right. Me
that's
too.
gonna that one's gonna make this one like the what is it, the Thanos glove with all the gemstones. You're gonna just
Yeah.
you're gonna make the gauntlet. So at the end of the day, piecing these little things together, right, help you
Yeah.
bring and attract, and then you got this for the people to stay. And then all you got to do is just find people and then just put them into the machine and let the machine spit them out.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's kind of how I.
Jody, are most of your CDLP folks in groups or are they individuals?
Some are individuals and some are groups. So yeah. Yeah.
So obviously you attract the individuals a whole lot differently than the groups because you're
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, especially so I do like research and stuff like that. And kind of I'm hitting those lower numbers that have like 5 or less people. This way I can pretty much talk to the owner and hopefully sell that whole owner
Mhm.
operator bundle, and
Right.
then add a few more, on off-road plans in the midst of it if they've got drivers that are working with them. So yeah, this way it'll, at least get some good business income coming in, but also, and this way they also see the entire how Legal Shield can help them, business wise,
Absolutely.
personally, and on the road. So,
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
I like it.
Yes, yes. And Jeremy, I do want to set up an appointment with you very soon because before I go on to making more of these and
Mhm.
duplicating and all of that stuff, I want to get this down and then I can fix
Sure.
my other ones.
Oh no, definitely.
Perfect.
I think that'll add
Perfect.
a lot of what you need to make these, that
Yeah,
just that extra step of engage, just cleaning up stuff. I'll show you all that. And so
perfect.
I will
Perfect.
is are you is today a day for you, or next, or this week, throughout this week? How fresh is this, and would you like to get on this?
Yeah, I can probably chat with you in the next hour. I do have another Zoom from 1 to 1:30 today my time, sort of two more minutes.
Okay.
That'll go from 1 to 1:30 and I can, if you want to chat in next
Afterwards.
half an hour, 45
Yep.
minutes, we can do that.
I have something in
Perfect.
2 minutes, and
Okay.
then I get done with that, and then I might have some free time after that. So what I'll do is I'll send you an email with an invite.
Okay, sounds great.
Alrighty. Well, everybody,
right.
I definitely thank you for showing up today. I think this was super
Yes,
good
Mhm.
discussion that we had. It's
yeah,
not scary at all. Look at what she
no,
did. She did all that
Yeah,
on
it's
her own,
amazing. It looks great.
right?
yes, thank you,
Alrighty, Jody.
thank
Well, it's a
you.
pleasure,
All right,
everybody. You guys have a great
Yeah.
day.
good
All
to
right.
see you,
Bye-bye.
Allison.
You too.
Bye.
Take
Bye.
care.
Ciao.